Welcome to the video. Today we explore the history of Gillette Castle, a notable regional landmark in the United States. Located in East Haddam, Connecticut, this mysterious mansion sits dramatically atop a rocky cliff overlooking the Connecticut River. If you'd like to learn the history and story of this castle and the story of the man who built it, then please keep watching and I hope you enjoy the video. Gillette Castle was built between 1914 and 1919 by William Hooker Gillette, one of the most successful stage actors in the era between 1880 and 1920. Gillette was born in Hartford, Connecticut in 1853. His father was a Yale-educated lawyer and a local politician, while his mother was a descendant of Thomas Hooker, the founder of Connecticut. Gillette grew up in the Nook Farm neighborhood of the city, with the famous authors Harriet Beecher Stowe and Mark Twain as neighbors. At 20, Gillette began his career as an actor in 1873, performing in St. Louis, New Orleans, Boston, Cincinnati, and many other cities. However, in 1878, Gillette took a 2-year-long break from acting, returning to his family home in Connecticut. When he reemerged in 1880, he became the director and a playwright for many of the plays he starred in, performing at theaters in New York City, Boston, London, and many more. While Gillette was doing well as an actor, his career would change forever when he started working with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of the popular Sherlock Holmes novels. Soon, Gillette received permission to write, direct, and star in plays as Sherlock Holmes. He made his debut as a character in 1899 and subsequently played Sherlock Holmes in 1,300 or more theater productions throughout his next 33-year career. During this time, Gillette popularized many common features of the character, such as the deerstalker cap, curved pipe, magnifying glass, and the phrase, "Elementary, my dear fellow." As a direct result of his newfound popularity, Gillette became very wealthy, and one way he spent his wealth was buying a large houseboat named Aunt Polly. While Gillette was not performing, he would sail up and down the Connecticut River on this houseboat, enjoying the natural beauty around him. On one sailing trip, Gillette noticed a scenic hilltop in East Haddam, Connecticut. He got out of his boat and hiked to the summit, admiring the magnificent view of the Connecticut River below. In 1908, he purchased land here and started making meticulous plans for the lavish home he planned to build atop the hill. In these plans, newly forged steel I-beams would act as a support for the massive 3-story, 14,000 square foot mansion, which he would call the Seventh Sister Estate. Despite this modern steel frame, the house had medieval appearance and aesthetics, thanks to fieldstone walls, narrow glass windows, and fake stone battlements. By 1914, Gillette was ready to begin construction, hiring 25 stonemasons and 5 carpenters to build the mansion. This home would be completed 5 years later in 1919. It would cost Gillette $1.1 million. Scaled to inflation, this number is about $20.4 million today. The house was built with electrical lights and custom-made switches, even when the town of East Haddam was not yet on the power grid. Additionally, it was built with heating and fire prevention systems, long before either of these were common in new homes. When you enter the house, you are greeted by an imposing stone causeway. The heavy oak front door you pass through is one of 73 hand-carved doors in the house, all original to 1914 and unique in their ornate details. To enter the main floor of the house, guests must walk up the front stairs, passing a window, a secret passageway to Gillette's workshop, and the home's electric switchboard. As soon as guests come up the stairs, they are greeted by a 1,500 square foot great room with 17-foot ceilings. This room has several unique features, such as red mortar between the stones and grass floor tiles on the walls. Additionally, all the southern white oak woodwork is original and was handmade by the team of 5 craftsmen when the house was built. Off the great room is a greenhouse, a kitchen, an office, a large patio overlooking the Connecticut River, and several other rooms. On the second floor of the mansion, there are several bedrooms, each containing a bathroom with marble tile, a sink with hot and cold water, a toilet, and a bathtub, all modern conveniences for the time. This floor also contains original stained glass from Gillette's houseboat, a small model of the ship, and many more historical items. Climbing to the third floor of the mansion, visitors can find that a stairwell continues up for several more levels. These extended levels were part of an expansion Gillette made to the castle from 1923 to 1926. Unfortunately, they are off limits to visitors due to safety concerns. However, if interested, you can watch this video made by museum staff that gives a full tour of these restricted upper levels. Moving past the stairwell, visitors are greeted by an ornate door that leads to Gillette's private art gallery, his library, and reading room. Additionally, this floor contains an exhibit on Gillette's lifelong servant, Yukita Osaki. Once guests finish reading and looking at the many letters, books, paintings, and display pieces, they may exit the mansion through a recently redone grand stairway, coming out onto the castle's patio that overlooks the Connecticut River. Outside of this mansion, Gillette built a narrow gauge railroad in 1927. He did this because he loved trains since childhood and had always wanted to drive one. The 3-mile railroad track twisted around his 122-acre property and was complete with several bridges and even a small tunnel. William Gillette started his train tracks and stored his trains in a structure he called Grand Central Station. Under this roof, Gillette stored one steam engine, one electric engine, and several passenger cars. And this is also where the railroad tracks originated from, branching out throughout the property. Gillette's trains, as well as his impressive house that overlooked the Connecticut River, drew many famous visitors during the 1920s and 30s, such as President Calvin Coolidge, Charlie Chaplin, and Albert Einstein. When William Gillette died in 1937 at age 83, the estate was left to his cousin and brother-in-law. They tried to sell the castle at auction in 1938, but declined the top offer for unspecified reasons. In 1943, the state of Connecticut, with the help of the Connecticut Forest and Park Association, purchased the property from Gillette's family for $30,000. Gillette Castle State Park was first opened to the public on October 1944 and has operated as a museum and state park ever since. If you are in the Southern Connecticut area, I recommend visiting the Gillette Castle State Park. Aside from the impressive historic building, it's a beautiful park with hours of scenic hiking trails. This has been the story of Gillette Castle, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you like this video and want me to make more, and I hope you have a great day.